welcome to Superstitions and Traditions. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Trish.
And it is Am I the Asshole Historical Edition.
Okay, I'm ready.
I love Am I the Asshole?
I do love Am I the Asshole? I love it. I love it. Okay, so hit me with your best shot.
All right.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for stepping outside of the social rules of the time, traveling to Europe alone for an education, and returning to the U.S. to showboat my accomplishments?
Am I supposed to let you know yet, or I have to wait?
Wait and hear the story.
Okay, first.
All right. I mean, if
I
you
need
have
more
an
information.
opinion based on that, because it sounds like an asshole.
Yes.
But I wrote it that way on purpose, so maybe they're not an asshole.
Okay.
We don't know yet.
All right, I'm ready.
My parents were sharecroppers in Texas with 13 children. Many
children.
That is a lot of kids. But Grandma Bertha was the youngest of 13.
Keep going.
Money was tight, and education was often put on hold for helping in the fields to support our large family. Especially after my dad left to go to Oklahoma, where he hoped his native ancestry might open more doors for him.
I love that he thought that. Okay, keep going.
He never returned, and my mother and us kids did not follow. After school, I attended Langston Industrial College, so she did make it into Oklahoma.
Okay.
Because Langston is Oklahoma's HBCU.
Yes, it is.
But could not get the funding needed to continue. So she made it one semester and had to quit because there was no money.
Okay.
I moved to Chicago, where two of my brothers were living. I went to beauty school to become a manicurist and worked in a barber shop, quickly becoming one of the most popular manicurists in Black Chicago. Working in the barber shop right after World War I heard many stories of pilots flying. My brothers even told me he saw women flying planes in Europe during
Europe.
his deployments.
Yes. We
We also have to keep in mind that during World War I, black men
couldn't fly.
weren't allowed to fly
Right.
either. So anyway, that was a side note.
A very important one.
Yes. Women weren't allowed to fly, period.
Yes. No women anywhere.
In the U.S., period. The
Right.
ends. Black men were allowed to go to flying school, learn how to fly a plane, but not for the U.S. military.
Okay.
At this time.
So they could learn to fly just after
Yes.
the military. Okay.
I knew then what I wanted to do with my life. I applied to nearly every American flight school, but was rejected. A double whammy. I was black and female. Neither admitted to American flight schools. I often read the Chicago Weekly Defender, a newspaper for black Chicagoans.
Okay.
Oh,
I like that. I like Chicagoans.
I don't know what they call themselves.
People who lived in Chicago.
Yes, for the black people who lived in Chicago.
Okay.
I was hopeful the publisher, Robert Abbott, would have some advice. He suggested I go to France to study. I worked to learn the language, save money, get my passport, a tourist 1-year visa, and secured additional financing through the Defender and Jesse Binga, a banker.
Okay.
On November 20th, 1920, I was on my way to the French
École d'Aviation des Frères Condron et des Crotois.
That works for me.
Okay.
Anyway, to the French aviation school that had a really fancy French name. Of course, I didn't settle for just a flight school. I was attending the best in Europe.
Ooh, I like that.
The Defender followed my progress, writing often of my accomplishments. When I returned to the U.S. with my international pilot's license, I was...
Get out. Okay.
I was called Queen Bess. Everyone wanted to see the first black woman and first Native American woman
Yes.
to earn a pilot's license soar through the sky. I performed air shows, barnstorming for the masses, often while honoring our many military regiments. A year after my return, I purchased my own plane, but shortly after takeoff, the engine stalled. I survived the crash with only a few broken ribs and a broken leg, but I was stuck on the ground for several months by doctor's orders.
Okay.
Once healed, I continued my aviation shows. I desperately wanted to save the money to open my own flight school. Black people, Native people, and women could learn to fly in the U.S. In 1926, I again purchased another plane, and fortunately it had not been properly maintained. And while my mechanic was flying us home, I in the passenger seat, it started to go down. I was thrown from the plane 2,000 feet in the air, and at only 34 was killed when I hit the ground. However, my legacy lives on in the dreams of every American girl, every African American, or every Native American learning to fly in the U.S.
Ooh, I just got chill bumps. Little goosebumps. Okay, gosh. Okay, there is no question in my mind that she is not an asshole.
She is not the asshole.
No, she is like, I don't, if stud doesn't even describe it.
I
She
know.
is just, I cannot imagine being a black woman in the 1920s and saying, hey, you know what I'm going to do? Okay, I'm going to leave the United States because it ain't easy to get to Europe. You got to go
Right.
take that big boat over there, find the money, and I'm going to apply to not just
Any.
any. I'm going to go for the best.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to get the best pilot school, and then I'm going to become a pilot. And then I'm going to fly back to the United States where women aren't allowed to fly, much less black women. I'm going to show them, hey, we are pretty capable.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
You know, why? Because we knew, Americans knew how we were in the 20s
Right.
versus how France and England and other countries that didn't have the segregation and like. And,
It was just a whole.
And we were
different-
still like, nope, we are doing the right thing.
Yes, we are keeping the world safer
Yes.
by not letting women fly planes. What are they thinking?
Mm-hmm.
And black men, you can get your license, but
Yes.
not with the military.
Not with the
because-
military, and don't think you're going to go to one of our like state-funded, federally funded
Yes,
aviation
no,
schools.
No, we're not going to have any of that. So so when she came back, because I know the name. Okay.
Bessie Coleman.
Bessie Coleman. So
Bessie
when she
Coleman.
came back, she did a lot of great things too when she came back, didn't she? So tell me more about all that.
One of the big things she did, both of her older brothers, and I can't remember now what order she was, but I think she was one of the older kids.
Okay.
Both of her older brothers had fought in the military during World War I. So one of her like passions was supporting the military and
Okay.
honoring the military. So
Right.
a lot of her barnstorming shows were geared to recognize and support our military.
Yes. In fact, at the time, or a couple of weeks after she was getting her license, Tulsa was going through the race riots.
Yeah.
Here.
She was still in France during the Tulsa massacre,
Okay.
which was in May 31st, 30th and 31st of 21. So
Right.
she's still in France going to school.
And as the massacre is happening during that time, she's in France, a whole different idea than what's going on here.
Oh yeah, there was equality in most European countries.
She was the first American of any race or sex to be awarded.
An international pilot's license.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, that's just amazing.
Yep. And she did, when she came back, did lots of like fundraisers, and I mean, I don't know what they called it then, but lots of support.
Right. So
For the Tulsa,
for the massacre, people in the massacre,
for the survivors
of the massacre. In fact, there was at one time they wanted to do a movie about her life, and when she got there and they were starting to film and they were talking about it, she said, oh no, Uncle Tom's stuff for me, because she looked at how they were trying to depict African Americans in the black history in that time in the movie set. So she refused to reinforce white stereotypes and said no. Then I will not reduce the self-esteem of her own people by playing the role of a Southern ignorant black woman.
Yep.
So she was just a.
And I like the tie to Oklahoma because
yes, I do like that. How she was tied here because there's a lot of stuff going on then. Okay, so plane crashes, right? The first one she buys.
The first one she buys. She was injured, but fine.
Okay, so then she sent the telegram from her hospital room or from her bed that said, "Tell them all that as soon as I can walk,
But on that, this woman in the hospital with her broken ribs and broken legs was like, I need to get out of here and get on a plane because I have this show to do. And the doctor was like, no ma'am.
No ma'am, we cannot have you do that.
No. You are going to take care of yourself. And so then she sent the telegram
and then it said tell them all that as soon as I can walk, I'm going to fly, and my faith in aviation and the useful of it will serve in fulfilling the destiny of my people isn't shaken at all.
Yep.
So then she, it was after that she started doing lectures and started healing. And then on Juneteenth in Texas, which we all know the Emancipation Proclamation and how important that was to Texas, she... in Wharton, Texas? Wharton, that sounds funny.
Sounds very Texas.
Wharton made me make a funny face. She even performed a jump at that show.
She went on to do a couple of jumps from her plane with parachutes and
just jump right off the wing.
Yeah.
So 3,000 feet, you just climb out of the cockpit and you get out on the wing's edge, and then you just jump off. So she stood up in her hometown
for civil rights.
She was going to do a show there, and part of the show was that part of the requirements for the show was that you had to have, because we are during segregation at that time, so there had to be
Jim Crow era,
two separate gates for white people and black people, and then you have to sit separately as you come in.
Yep.
And she said, oh no, I will not do the show if that's how it's going to be. We're going to come in through the same gate. And she pushed for everyone to sit where they chose, but was able to get them to give and say, oh no, okay, we'll let you enter through one gate. So she accepted that, but then they still when she came in, they still had to be segregated. But the fact that she fought for the one entrance during that time was like, that's just pretty much amazing. And are you familiar with Mae Jemison?
I am not.
She 1992, became the first African American woman to go into space. She wrote that she wished I had known her while I was growing up. But then again, I think she was there with me all the time. So that was what she wrote about Bessie. In one way, Coleman was indeed with her when she left Earth. Jemison carried a picture of Coleman with her into space, flying far higher than Coleman ever dreamed. Coleman's intelligence, strength, and determination continues to inspire younger generations of African American women.
That's awesome.
I know.
Yeah, I had never heard. I might have to look her up.
Yeah. So definitely not an asshole. A truly strong,
spunky
amazing, spunking woman who, changed. You look at the road she paved for those that came after her. And
can you imagine a black female pilot, that you want to go see do all these tricks and cool things? Either way, as a white person or a black person.
Right.
And the people there telling you, especially the white people, well, you have, the better seats. And being, I know. That makes sense.
That does make sense. Yeah,
while this black woman who did what no other American could do, period, regardless of
male,
color
female,
or gender.
Yes.
Like the arrogance there is just.
So many things have happened that we just go, huh?
That
Really?
made sense to you, really?
You thought that was okay?
That was okay.
You thought that was okay? Yes. I mean, they were there to see Bessie, who is
Who is a black woman.
a black woman
who accomplished something no
No other-
white man in America could accomplish.
and we're still gonna try to make you come in a separate gate, and then we really want to put you over here in the corner.
In the corner,
but-
they're like, of course.
I can't imagine. I mean, those times were just different. Thank goodness that there were people like Bessie Coleman who was willing to blaze the way, blaze the trail for, people that all the strong, but brave women that have come after her. People, black women, white women, but specifically black women. I mean, when you think, you look at all the black women. Kamala is my latest. She just makes me smile. And you think that as she stepped out there on that stage as running for president, I mean, and then you look at, it was just like 100 years ago that Bessie Coleman is going, oh, screw this, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to get my pilot's license and I'm going to fly. So, you just...
Shirley Chisholm.
Yes.
Yeah, the first black woman to run for president. Just the courage
Yes, because
because that was in what, the 60s, 70s.
I think 60s, yeah. But that does. It just takes a tremendous amount of courage and just a tremendous amount of
strength and endurance.
As my coach in high school would say, remember, I'm old, so there weren't a lot of women running back then, but still in the back of my mind, I can hear her saying, intestinal fortitude, women, intestinal fortitude. Like, I said, I think it needs to keep running.
Took that, a lot of thick skin, I'm sure, because the criticism and
just, yeah.
I mean, even with the Kamala Harris and Shirley Chisholm, who weren't successful in what they were trying to do,
but were successful
in paving a way, opening a door.
Right.
What is the term for it now? Shattering glass ceilings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and it takes all of those. So, all those different steps and all the different chipping away at the glass ceiling until we finally get to that place where...
Yeah, we bust through it.
We just bust through with hands held high and...
Yeah.
Oh, well, there. I don't know how we got off on that, but...
I don't either, but it's worth the discussion.
It was worth the discussion.
So,
to all you strong women out there,
that's
and
right.
to all the other people that support the strong women that are out there, thank you.
Thank you, and keep going.
Keep going. Keep paving that trail. Keep blazing that trail. Keep banging at that ceiling.
That's right. And to visit France. It sounds lovely.
It does.
It sounded lovely in the 20s.
Again, she had to go to France. Doesn't that just make you go,
All right. Well, let us know your thoughts. Was Bessie Coleman the asshole?
She was not.
Oh, she wasn't.
She was cute.
Yes. Strong, and so young.
I know
Could you imagine what she could have accomplished?
I know it. But, I mean... Her legacy lives on.
Her legacy lives on, and she accomplished quite a bit in her short life.
And that's why I love history, because those are the things that we need to remember. The people that came from before us, the gifts that they've got. And history is ugly.
Oh,
I mean, there's some ugly parts of history, but still, there's so much.
There's some
resilience and so many stories that come out of it. And
all right, like, comment, share, do all of the stuff, and come see us later.
All right, everybody. Be safe. Have a great day.
Be safe, and there are good things that happen here. You don't have to just go to France.
No, there are a lot of good things happen. I love the United States, and there are lots of good things that happen.
That's right.